It seems a lifetime ago that the Bulls were primed to be the toast of the East, led by a guard that had the physical gifts to maybe even give the Heatles a run for their money back in 2010-11. But after his transcendent season that year, Derrick Rose fell on quite a few hard times, both on and off the court. And it seemed he'd never regain the raw power and grace that enabled him to enthrall his teammates and opponents alike. But here's a little secret. His work with the Pistons this year looked awfully familiar to me, and when you adjust for minutes played, you realize that he's producing the same kind of numbers he did as an MVP. If we're going to compare these two seasons, a good place to start is how he attacked out of the pick and roll. You can see the same type of floaters he used to employ back then are still fully in his arsenal today. The two-footed hop into a push shot was a staple, getting it over the defense before they could react, and he did it with great touch. He loved going to his right and then utilizing the bank shot. Here's one where he's more controlled off a 2-foot in-rhythm jump, while back in the day, he was more free to lift off one and cover more ground, yet still used that backboard to get the shot to drop. The problem with this much drift was that it led to many awkward landings that came back to haunt him later. The hop into a quick release floater from 15 is a great way to protect your body and get the shot off quick before the big can react. And it's the same shot he was relying on even back before injuries took their toll on his knees. Watch how he uses the screen to his left to inside-out crossover back into the middle. An extra big left step gets him a half inch of space to release the running one-handed hook over Ibaka here. And it's the same thing he would get back in 2010, where again he'd cross over the big man and just use his exceptional jumping ability to hook this in over the defender. During his MVP year, there were plenty of examples of his overpowering athletic ability, earning him the kind of finishes you'd see on SportsCenter over and over again. And while we don't see these types of displays anymore, it wasn't the only thing Rose relied on back then. He really was skilled as a basketball player. Check this one-footed drifting out of bounds to his left high-arcing floater that drops clean through. And we're still getting that very same degree of difficulty shot today, making this one almost unstoppable. But Rose doesn't solely rely on the floater in the mid-range area. He also has the throwback pull-up jumper game that has become a lost art. If the defender decides to go underneath the ball screen, he's going to pull anywhere inside 20 feet. The main difference I can see is the elbow angle as the arm begins to swing up. You can see back in 2010, the ball was farther from his body and he would bend the elbows into position while the arms moved up. And now, he gets his elbow into his shooting angle before the arms swing up. There's the same hitch as his body rotates on the release a little bit, but he's been able to find consistency with it. Rose has become a master at change of pace, utilizing the skip dribble as he hops up and back down on the right foot before blowing right by Jokic for the off-foot lefty layup. And if you try to be aggressive and hedge the ball screen, he's always been adept at splitting the pick and roll, getting right into the lane, and finishing strong to the hoop, but with soft touch off the glass. And we might remember him overpowering defenders with his explosion off the ground as he neared the restricted area. Well, there is still evidence that he can do this even now, displaying incredible focus on the target all the way through the move. Where Rose also helped the offense is with his passing, and this should be no surprise. With the Bulls, he was willing to make the right play, giving up the cutters and rollers with remarkable timing and accuracy. Nowadays, it's Christian Wood who's a favorite target as the roll man, and it's more of the same as Rose still has gravity, sucking the focus of the defense to him before finding Wood with setup passes for easy scores around the hoop. In transition, it's Langston Galloway who's a favorite target, continually finding him sprinting to the corner for open three-pointers, and it goes a long way towards explaining why Galloway was close to a career high in points per game and shooting his career best from behind the arc. The biggest differences from his MVP year are the amount of isolations he gets and the number of threes he took out of the pick and roll. As the sole threat off the dribble for the Bulls, he took on an unusual burden to create offense for everybody. And of the 56 players that year that used at least 150 isolation possessions, only Dirk Nowitzki was ranked higher than him in ISO efficiency. That said, he does get some isolations as the main spark plug off the bench for the Pistons, and of the 56 players who used at least 70 ISO possessions this year, he's ranked 8th in the league in efficiency. At this point in his career, having dealt with so many major knee injuries, it's no surprise that he's relegated to coming off the bench and only playing 26 minutes a game. But when you compare his per 36 numbers, you see he's producing better than his MVP year, and in a more efficient manner. What Derrick Rose had to go through in the 9 years since winning the MVP award, I wish on no one. But it's got to be incredibly rewarding to see him produce at this level again. And while it hasn't helped the Pistons win many games, it certainly has helped restore our memories of Derrick Rose as one of the top guards in the NBA. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to B-Ball Breakdown so you can get alerted right away when we drop a new video. This season will be filled with incredible content, so don't miss it. You in?